So before we get into the specifics of everything in the Vocoder V, we're first just going to do kind of a flyover to see all of these different sections and how we can work with them, as well as how we actually interface with everything inside here. And to begin, we'll run through just basically the toolbars and all of the aspects of it that are fairly similar to other Arturia instruments. But starting up here at the upper toolbar, we can do things like start new presets or save presets, export presets and banks, resize the window if you want to see more of it, depending on your screen size, and then the audio MIDI settings like we saw. This would be where we set up our output and input channels for audio, plus our MIDI devices to get your signals going how you want. Then there's also tutorials and help, where you can get the user manual or FAQ, plus the about section to just get your version number and the credits from the instrument. Continuing through, we have the browser we can open with this button, where we can go through all the different presets available. Just selecting in here, and we'll come back to this. You can also go through presets by clicking up in this top area to pull out a tree where you can pick from all those or just use the arrows. Continuing to the right, we have the voice and sample buttons that we can select for the input of the sound. With sample, you're going to be using a sample, and with voice, you're going to send an actual input, and we'll come back to that in a minute. But over on the right, we have the settings that will extend the window. So we have MIDI channel settings. You can select controls for your controller, depending on if you're using an Arturia brand one that will auto map a lot of these controls, or you can also set up and save your own. So if you're doing that, you'll notice that the red ones are already assigned. If you select them, it'll jump down to the linkage shown here with the minimum and maximum values for them. And if you want to create a link, you can click on whatever parameter you want to make a linkage. I'll get the bend range, for instance, and then we'll see that a new line is added in this list. And then if we turn a knob on your keyboard, you'll assign that MIDI CC number to the control, and it will turn red here to show that it's linked. And you can right-click on that to change from absolute or relative, depending on how your keyboard works if you're assigning it, or if you select it and hit delete on your typing keyboard, that will remove that linkage, making sure that's the one that is selected, and just pressing that delete button. And then if you make all those changes and then you want to save this, again, you can go up to the configuration here, save as, or go to any of the presets you've already saved. Like if we go back to the default, it will ask if we want to discard the changes since we have made a few, and we'll just stick with that default because I'm not going to set anything right now. In a similar manner, we can go for macros, and this will be linked to the preset, however you save that, but it works more or less the same way. You just click Add Destination if you want to select another parameter that you want controlled by this macro, and basically brightness will generally have a few parameters linked to them. And then there's a knob here that you can change that will adjust whatever parameters are linked here, defined by their minimum and maximum values. And you'll notice that there are several if we cycle through here, which all of these knobs are shown and are the same as the ones that are at the bottom: brightness, timbre, time, and movement. So since we have timbre open, if we turn that, you'll notice that those knobs mirror each other. And so essentially it's just a way that you have 4 quick knobs to adjust however many parameters you want to link in those macros. Finally, over here we have tutorials that you can go through. They'll guide you through some things if you want to go through them, but we're going to continue moving on. I'll close the settings tab by clicking up on this gear, and then we'll move down to the lower toolbar. First thing on the bottom left, you'll have an info readout of anything that you're hovering over. So if you ever need a little bit more information on what you're working with or some hints, take a peek down in that bottom left-hand corner of the Vocoder V, and you'll get a little bit more info than might be listed under a knob, for instance. And kind of similarly, you also might notice that as I hover over parameters, I have a value appear next to it to the right of the mouse pointer, and that is just a readout of the actual value of that knob. So as you turn it, you'll be able to see an exact value that you're changing. And you can double-click to reset that to the default value for any knob. So that's a good thing to do there. You can also hold Control or Command to fine-tune move a knob if you click and drag. Otherwise, it moves more quickly, but if you want it to get to an exact value, holding Control or Command will do that, and you can also right-click and drag to do the same thing. Continuing across the lower toolbar, we have polyphony here, where you can change the amount of voices that can be played at the same time. Monophonic is 1, legato would be sliding between 1, and other numbers are just the amount of voices available. You have the history. You can undo all your changes or view whatever changes you made and undo back to whatever point, and that also works for changing presets. So say you accidentally go to a different preset, you can undo and go back to the one that maybe you want to save before you change presets. Then you have a CPU monitor and panic button. They're the same thing. You can see the percentage of the CPU used, which if you're on a less powerful system, you might start to hear glitches or things like that. So keep an eye on this down here if you're doing especially complex sounds with the Vocoder V. And if, for instance, you have a hanging note, you can also click down here to cut off the sound coming out. So that's nice and easy. And then we have those macros to the right here. So this sort of stuff is pretty similar to all Arturia instruments up to this point. Now though, let's take a look more specifically at the Vocoder V and its elements. Down at the bottom, there's obviously the keyboard and synthesizer section. This will be used as the carrier for our vocoder, and we'll get into that anatomy stuff pretty soon. Above that, we have the vocoder section. So this is the part that will actually combine the two signals working, the carrier synthesizer being one of them, and then the other one being the sample or voice, which if we open the advanced panel, you see we have a sample player and a voice input that we can select from. Sample player, you see the different samples available, so if I hit a key, you have all the different samples that can be played and then combined with the synthesizer with the vocoder. Or we can go into the voice input, and if you have your audio settings working with an input channel, you can send from the microphone to do the same thing as what that sample would be doing. So I'm going to enable that over in my computer audio settings. Now there's sound. And we'll get again into this sort of thing. This is just a basic example at the moment, but that's the idea of sending a voice or sample through here. Then you also have mods in the advanced panel and effects, all of which we'll go through as we piece everything together in the synth. And as just a quick flyover of everything inside of the vocoder, that should work nicely. And now we're ready to take a look at these concepts to get a real technical understanding of what the vocoder is doing, since it's not a particularly complex idea, but getting a grasp of the terminology and just a lot of those sorts of things will come in handy as we move forward. So I'll see you in the next video where we'll get into the anatomy of a vocoder.